I've spent a lot of resources pursuing Kaspa mining over the last couple of years. Kaspa at one point was the second most profitable coin to mine. Now it's the third most profitable. It trails behind BTC as well as Dogecoin. What are the best miners to buy right now? Why? Why do some of these actually suck, but you wouldn't know it until you got one in hand, which is one of the reasons why I try to procure every possible miner model and review it here on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Hey, I'm Vosk. Let's dig into it. I have no affiliation with F2 Pool. We are just gonna use this data here because they have a lot of the obscure miner models loaded in their mining profitability calculator. So we look at the top most profitable mining rigs on this list and this is calculated at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. So you can see how many coins you're expected to mine or produce, the revenue, right? Which is your overall, how many dollars did you mine? Then at a 10 cent per kilowatt hour electricity rate, how much it costs to operate these machines. And then you would end up with your profits, which is your revenue minus your cost. Almost every miner is mining Kaspa 1. Isn't that freaking crazy? These are so many different models and manufacturers, right? We have Bitmain, Ice River, who the hell's Dragon Ball? Okay, IB Link, the Wind Miner, which is apparently a relabeled, rebranded black miner hash altcoin. If you remember those FPGAs. Then we have the DG1 Plus, which is already outclassed by the incoming Antminer L9, which isn't in this calculator yet, and the crazy Bombax EZ100, which we just reviewed here on the channel as well. So yeah, these machines are potentially earning $100 a day. That is wild passive income. One miner in particular I just got in is the Dragon Ball KS6, not the KS6 Plus, which is just a difference of mining hash rate. But you can see my performance over here. So it's been up over 24 hours, but I haven't hit a full day of mining here. So watch out for that review on that miner. We go and look at another mining profitability calculator. It has a couple different models in here. Like the AL box stands out, but we're looking at a lot of the same miners. We're looking at a lot of Kaspa ASIC mining rigs. So should we run out and should we buy one, right? ASIC Marketplace supports the channel, and we also support you with the best coupon code you can possibly get to use there. We don't get any credit if you only use our code. So if you do buy something, please save yourself some coin with our code that's down in the video description below. But also, if you don't mind, please use our link so we get credited with that affiliate sale. Looking at these miner models, the big ones that stick out right now are the Ice River KS5M. I mean, these are expensive though, 11 grand. The Dragon Ball KS6, already nearly $1,000 less than I was charged for it. And I haven't even had this device for 4 days. I tell you what, I have not mined $1,000 in 4 days with that. So that you know, the rapid changes in prices and everything can be pretty frustrating. The KS0 Ultra has come out to be the most profitable mini miner is the most profitable mini miner you can get for Kaspa. From resellers before any codes, it comes in around 655. We've gotten Ice River to reinstate our code on their web shop, and they're selling directly right now as well. So if you head over there, it is much cheaper on their site, and that's before you punch in our code. We have a link for them as well, but again, I get tired of saying this stuff. I feel like it's like just not genuine when I like keep bringing that up, but those kind of that support really helps us keep the content, you know, free and rolling out all the time here on the tube. It's expensive chasing all these miners. It's crazy. Not all of them pan out. Some do, some don't. But this thing, 350 bucks, 400 gigahash second, 100 watts. I got the KS5L in, and it's been great so far, but it's dropped like $4,000 since I got mine just a month ago, and for nearly the same price I could get a better miner, the KS5M, which they of course released at a later time. The Goldshell KA Box Pro is getting a lot of publicity right now. So this is another mini miner for Kaspa, and these are going to be the two mini miners that you consider if you can only afford one of the smaller ones, or if you're only willing to spend that much on one of the small, like this is your budget. But these miners are nearly silent. They're very quiet. They don't use much electricity. They're easy to plug into any outlet in your house as long as your power supply can run on 120 voltage if you're in the US. Point is, like, they're just real easy. This one also even has Wi-Fi support. But what's crazy is this is the same mining power, right, at 1.6 terahash second as 4 KS0 Ultras. It also consumes about 600 watts, which is 200 more watts than 4 KS0 Ultras would consume. So really, you would be better off to just buy 4 of these than you would be to buy one of these. You could end up with 5 KS0 Ultras for less than you'll pay to get into a KBox Pro. Goldshell is consistently just pricing themselves out of the market, and I'm very happy that they have real competition on a mini miner model with Ice River. They've also been teasing that they're going to release a big Kaspa miner for like the whole year. We have yet to see it. The elephant in the room, though, is not the $24,000 in-stock KS5 Pro. It is the August delivery KS5 Pro at 12-13 grand, and that's reseller price. Even the KS5 in stock on many resellers has not come down. But to give you the scoop, Bitmain has been slinging these around $10,000. We go over to Bitmain's site and we activate the Kaspa icon. Of course, they're sold out. They were selling them at 15 grand before any discounts, which means that you can effectively get it down several thousand more dollars. If you can maximize their coupon system, you could get it, per the site at 10.5, and they deal prices much lower than that in bulk as well. To utilize a full coupon with them, one, you need to have it. Two, you need to spend millions of dollars. So it's not like you just missed out on some cool code or something and you could have ordered one of these. This is actually where resellers really come in handy. They help you get a price above this, but of course below this, which is beneficial because otherwise you'd be paying 15 grand for this unit. So they profit and you save versus just getting straight ripped off from the manufacturer, I guess. If you will. Obviously, it would be great if they just sold these at more reasonable prices to begin with. But mining is incredibly competitive. So I'm kind of jumping all over the place. We clearly touched on there's only two viable mini miners for Kaspa, and the KS0 Ultra just makes some more sense, literally. So the KS5 Pro is being produced in mass. There's a batch coming out like right now, and there is a massive batch coming out in August. This is going to absolutely push the network hash rate to new all-time highs. They are working on producing as many as they just possibly can. At 312 petahash a second, there's just a lot of miners on the network. The earliest that you could have started ASIC mining Kaspa was in April of 2023, which I did. Prior to that, we had the GPU mining guide, and some people were pretty heavy in GPU mining with Kaspa. That's great, worked out well, unlike many of the other GPU mineable coins, fortunately for the Kaspa miners. The point here being is that it gets more and more difficult to mine, which means that you'll be making less money. But there's a lot of money to shave off in potential mining profitability if your miner is pooling $112 a day, right? So let's just say it became twice as difficult to mine Kaspa. This is a device that would still be pulling $60 a day, and it's only going to cost 10, 11 grand. Obviously, that's a lot of money, but that's also a lot of money to be making. So let's take that 110 number, right, times 365. That's 40 fucking grand a year. That's wild. You plug this thing into the wall and you'll 4x over the next year. There's more to it. We'll break that down. Let's say we're making 60, right? It's obviously going to be half. We're just going to end up at like 20 grand. So $22,000. So that would be a potential 6-month break even on a KS5 Pro that you get for 10, 11 grand. And you'd be projected to make 22 grand over the next year. At 10 cents per kilowatt hour, it costs $7.50 to run. So to put that into perspective, right, 7.56 times 365 is going to be about $2,800 in electricity cost annually. So you essentially put 20 grand in your pocket. The KS5 Pro around that price point outperforms performs everything else. Remember, this is 21 terahash a second at 3,150 watts. You compare it to the KS5M, that's 15 terahash a second at a higher power consumption. You look at the KS5L, even less hash rate at that same higher power consumption. I have the KS6, which is literally the exact same performance reportedly, and it seems to be pretty similar in our testing, as the IB-Link BM-KS Max and the Dragon Ball KS6. So these are all mining at 324 watts per terahash. That means that the KS5 Pro is more than 2 times as efficient. That means that profitability can go that much lower and you'll still be good because it will outlast, it will out-survive these other miners. Everything can bleed, and these are truly in a league, a world of their own in the Kaspa mining game. The KS5 boasts the same efficiency, it's just a little bit worse. And here's something you need to know about the Dragon Ball KS6. So watch the full video to see all the details. At a glance, this could be an interesting miner. It's undercutting some of the competition, but it's not as nice. Everything about it seems kind of worse, and it's going to be more difficult to get a control board for this. It's going to be more difficult to make sure I've got the right backup power supply for this. This miner doesn't even have a web dashboard you can log into. You have to download their software and then access the mining device through that. This is a miner made to be purchased in bulk and ran in mining farms. This was never really built, suited, or set up for smaller miners. You of course can use it, it's not very difficult, but yeah, it's easily my least favorite. Other than the funny name, it's worse than the IB-Link BM-KS Max. It's worse than the Ice River miners. And performance-wise, right, it is half as powerful with a higher power consumption than these Bitmain KS5 miners. The bottom line is, if you want to stay in the Kaspa mining game, this is it. They're coming here with a show of force, probably going to make as many as they possibly can and drive Kaspa mining profitability into the ground, where these are making 10, 20 bucks a day after you account for the electricity bill, and their competitor miners are likely to not even be breaking even depending on their end users' electricity rates. So this is set to absolutely be king of the Kaspa mining game for now, and at a price that completely changes the Kaspa mining environment. So this is the best big Kaspa miner, and this is the best small Kaspa miner, and this one is just kind of in between, where you get a little bit more easier density, right? Like, I'd rather have 1 miner than 4, just from a management point of view. If you don't have that many, it's not a big deal to have 4 miners, right? But I mean, I've got like around 100 miners, so adding 4 instead of 1 to do the same thing, I'm not thrilled about that. But I still can't ignore the fundamental value, and so if I had 2 more grand to throw at Kaspa mining, I would buy KS0 Ultras in volume, which goes against what I just said I wanted to do, but I would still lean into what is the right decision for me financially as a mining farm operator. So anywhere you look, Kaspa miners are topping the charts. They are so profitable. There is so much money to be had in the Kaspa mining game every day. $1.7 million or more right now are mined. Kaspa outperforming most other cryptocurrencies in the last week, up a whopping 34%. Though that's a substantial gain. Kaspa's a top 30 cryptocurrency if you're not following it. Big, number 29. At nearly $4 billion market cap, a casual 134 million daily trading volume, and it's still not even on Coinbase and Binance, the 2 biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world ever. But mining will not get easier, and Kaspa reduces the amount of rewards every month, forever. It effectively halves annually. So every month you'll mine about 8% less coins. So if it goes up in price to support that, no big deal. For For example, it's up 1,100% just in the last year. One of the best performing cryptocurrencies, especially like top 100 wise in the last year, especially when you take into account it is up 100,000% from its tracked all-time low on CoinGecko May 26, 2022. You see that stuff and you're just like, geez, I just need to find the right coin, put some cash in it, put some coin in it, and then just let it ride and I'll be good. It's like, why do I stress? Well, I stress about trying to find the right stuff. So is it too late? Is it worth it? I mean, that's all up for you to decide. As someone who's trying to build a serious mining farm out here, the VoskCoin Ranch, I cannot ignore Bitcoin mining. I cannot ignore Dogecoin mining. I cannot ignore Kaspa mining. I think Kaspa mining is going to continue to be a gold rush for the next year. But at some point, it's going to be so few coins that this is going to have to be a top 10 coin to keep the mining game going and going and going. This cryptocurrency has more support from miner manufacturers, mining pools, than we've seen in other cryptocurrencies before. Ethereum Classic has been around probably longer than you've been in cryptocurrency. Statistically, what I just said will be true for the average crypto user. You compare that to Kaspa. Kaspa is a little baby versus old man ETH Classic should rebrand and get a real name, and then probably ETH Classic could take us to the promised land. Regardless, this is the situation with Kaspa Miners. It really just kind of comes down to looking at these miners and running the numbers. That bang for buck on the KS0 Ultra is interesting. Why would you buy something like the Dragon Ball KS6 for $9,000 when you could buy something like the Ice River KS5L for less than $8,000? You're getting 1.5 of terahashes per second of more mining performance. More mining power means you're going to literally mine more coins for the exact same power consumption. And you may say, but Vosk, why did you buy one then? Because I'm a maniac that wanted to try it out and review it here on the tube. But these new prices have only recently been updated after I sunk the order, so I'm down on the KS6 buy. Those have come down in price due to competition, and there's new miners that are available at even better price points. Even my KS5L costs several $1,000s more than they're selling for now already, and I've only had it like a month. It's been profitable while I've had it. I mean, it's mined like, $50-$60 a day, especially in retrospect. But you break 60 out over the last 30 days, that's only $1,800, and I'm losing, nearly $8 a day operating the dang thing. So yeah, it's just, honestly, it's kind of overwhelming. I wanted to come into this video a bit more structured, but to really break it down so we have real clear information. Ice River's still kind of coming out swinging. The KS0 Ultra is going to right now be the best bang for buck mini miner. The KS5L is going to probably be the best mid-budget miner, but the KS5M by Ice River is going to be a better value buy than the KS5L. But beating out all of these is going to be the KS5 Pro. It's just going to be a matter of, do you want to buy one of these other miners and it's ready to ship soon, probably by the end of the month. And then Bitmain is saying that they'll ship their better miner sometime in August. Honestly, it probably makes sense to just load up on the KS5 Pros at this point. And being patient sucks, but in recent months, being early on Kaspa miner model releases has been a negative return as opposed to waiting and just buying them later on when they became cheaper. And then even beyond that, it seems that it would have been even better to just never have bought any of those and just gone big on the KS5 Pros. Yeah, it's a lot. Kaspa mining has taken off in such a weird way that it's not really even fun anymore. It's overwhelming. It's weird. It is oversaturated, and yet these miners are still cash cows and thus command such premium prices. It's so much risk for this stuff. Sometimes you sit there and wonder, if you believe in Kaspa so much, should you just buy the coin and chill the fuck out and do nothing? because mining, especially as you start to scale, becomes more and more work. Plugging in one machine, easy passive income. I'm dead ass serious when I say that. Plug in power, plug in Ethernet, copy and paste your address, do your dance and profit. But then you do that times 20, and it's not as easy and it's not as simple. And then you take your 20 times 5, and now you got 100 devices, and congratulations, you got yourself a permanent part-time job. Way to go. And you know what? I'm done. I quit my job for the day. I'm Vosk, you're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. This is Tails. We run Tails on every video. 10 seconds of Tails. She is our CNQO, our Chief Never Quitting Officer. We take C titles dang serious here. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. What miner model for Kaspa do you think is the best right now, and why? Or are you grabbing, and why? I seriously would love to hear from you down there in the comments, and I'll see you later. Don't give up. It's overwhelming, kind of stressful, but hey, we in the game, we fight, we sling, and we trying. Hopefully we're living, but we could be dying. I'm dead.